Good morning. It is Tuesday. What I want to talk to you about today is addictions and ideas. Um, what I'm have gone through personally, is trying to get off coffee. Uh, and actually, I'm off coffee. I got sick 10 days ago, I guess, on a Friday, and I decided that was going to be the end of my coffee. Um, because I was already feeling bad. And I was like, if I have that withdrawal headache and that whole thing, I just do it all in one fell swoop. That's probably the bullheaded Swede in me that does things that way. Um, so I'm off coffee. Still am dealing with the addiction idea and what I'm going to talk to you guys about here. I am off alcohol. That, for me, that journey, um, I didn't drink as a kid, and I didn't drink as a teenager, and I didn't drink as um, a, a mother with young kids at home. Roger and I just didn't do that. Um, he was a heavy drinker in high school, college, and quit. And so when we bought the building in Marthasville that we're going to have our shop and our coffee shop in, that was back in 2007. And I kind of thought it would probably be a good idea because we were at the time saying it was we were going to have a wine garden in the back, that I should have some experience with alcohol. That was probably one of the dumbest decisions I've ever made in my life, but I made it, and that's, what happened. Um, Started drinking. We had a guy that worked for us that was a heavy drinker, and so I just fell into that. Um, and I quit that when I got sick. Well, it was actually, I think, a week before that. And that just, for me, just became a habit. It was not, I didn't drink with other people. I was a closet drinker, um, drank by myself. And it was to, a lot of the times, to just get out of my feelings, to not feel. Not that I'm great at feeling yet, but um, it's, so I'm working with, and what I want to share with you guys is, when you look at your own addictions, whether it's food, whether it's alcohol, coffee, um, are you attracted to the idea of sitting in a nice coffee shop and having a cup of coffee with your friends? Is it the idea of having a glass of wine at night? I'm attracted to how the wine looks in the glass. I think that's cool. And then I like wine bottles. However, alcohol is not a good thing for me, and neither is coffee. They're both highly inflammatory for me, and I've known it for quite a while. So it's not a good health decision for me on that part. But I am in love with the idea of, all of last year. Coffee was a lovely idea, to sit on my front porch, have a cup of coffee, watch the birds. I was in love with the idea of coffee, um, because coffee actually made me feel like crap. And I was one of those people that ended up, as I drank more of it, I would have the opposite effects. I would get a headache from drinking it instead of not drinking it, and it would not keep me awake. Um, so I started having opposite effects, and my whole journey with coffee is an interesting one. I had never drank a cup of coffee a day in my life until after our truck accident in November of 2019. The very next morning, I got up and I smelled coffee, and I was like, oh, I want some of that. Um, Now, this next part of the story is a little, um, it's on the edge. It's a fringe piece. Um, so I had some coffee that morning, And I just loved it. And I think coffee at that point was medicinal for me. Coffee is a plant. Plants are medicinal. They're not meant to be eaten and consumed all the time. They're meant to be used as medicine. My belief now, after my 20-year journey of health issues and stuff. So I didn't quite understand the whole draw to the coffee piece, which was interesting. And so I was seeing a shaman practitioner in Washington at the time, Holly, and she's also a psychotherapist and psychologist, maybe. I don't think she was a psychiatrist, but she was a counselor. And so she did that, and then she did this shamanic stuff. And so I went to see her, and what came through in one of our sessions was that I needed the coffee to ground, because in the accident, part of me separated, essence, energy, and on the impact, something in me separated. And I felt that. I felt like I was outside of myself, which is, I know it sounds weird, but I felt like I got separated. And so when she said that, that just made total sense. Well, and she said, you need the coffee to ground. And about a year after that, then my guides started telling me, get off the coffee. You need to switch to using crystals and stones and get outside in your bare feet and ground, start grounding that way. Well, the coffee had become, the idea of coffee had become an addiction at that point. And so I was in love with the idea of coffee, and I had this whole mental thing around it. So my point of the video is, when you're looking at yourself and you're looking at your own addictions, I often use the example, in our society, we are sold ideas. We are sold on the idea of having a swimming pool. We are sold on the idea you could be sitting in your lovely, wonderful living room watching TV, and an ad comes on, and they have this beautiful setting where they have, a table and chairs and an umbrella. This is outside on a lovely patio, or sitting next to a beautiful pool. And you're sold on the idea of what that picture means for you. And they sell you on it that, oh, you're living the life. Oh, you're successful. Oh, and they sell you on that idea of what, if you bought that table, what that means for you. So a lot of us, we go through life, and this is how we get hooked into buying stuff we don't need. So you go down that road, and you go to Lowe's, or that home store, or wherever, and you buy your table and chairs. You're buying the idea. You're still in that being sold the idea, and you come home, and it dawns on you that, well, you don't have the patio to put the table on, or you don't have the pool to set the table by. You have a dirt patch out there. And then many times it stays in the box, and it's years later before you ever open it. So be aware of yourself and check in with yourself. And that's what I want you to do and get from this video today is, look at your food. Is the food, going out and having a piece of chocolate cake? Or are you in love with the idea of eating out? What is all of that? And any of your addictions, whatever your addictions are you in love with the idea? Are you in love? I was in love with the idea of having coffee on my front porch. It wasn't the coffee itself. And I was in love with the idea of being able to sit with Roger and have a glass of wine and pretend like it didn't bother me physically. So, I have a special going on until the end of the year for coaching. 2 sessions for $80. It's a phenomenal deal. And 2 sessions, even now, even though it's the 12th new moon today in Sagittarius, by the way, you could still get 2 sessions in before the end of the year. And if we need to, go into the first week of January for the second session, I'm okay with that. But the deal will end shortly thereafter. I can't run it very long. So if you want to talk to me, if you're looking at food addiction, if you want to look at the psychology of what's going on with you, it doesn't take very many sessions to start, to just get in there and we have a conversation and we hash some things out, and I understand who you are and you understand how I work. And I see you for a couple of sessions, and then I don't want to see you for a while. I give homework, and that's really a test. It's a homework, but it's also a test for me to see if you're really in a spot of wanting of changing, of actually being serious about making the changes that can help you thrive in your life. And sometimes you're there and sometimes you're not. And I'm just honest. I'll, say to you, if I don't think you're ready, I'll just say, I don't think you're ready yet, but work on this piece and then call me when, because life happens, and we're all busy. We're all very busy. That's why you need a meditation board. But yeah, so call me 636-698-4048. The special is 2 sessions for $80. And I really want the first session to be done before the end of the year, and then we can maybe go into that first week in January and have the second session and then wrap up that special. So hopefully what I said makes sense and helps you. There's a kitty. You want to come up here, Laura? She's like, I don't know. See? We're on camera. She's one of our inside kitties. All right. Have a good day. Thanks. Bye.